Welcome back to my channel, guys. It is Kiara. You already know the queen stays gapped and gorgeous, honey. Today we're talking about something that's very touchy, but it's so super important to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So I know that a lot of us struggle with anxiety and depression. If you've been following my channel, you know pretty much enough about my journey. If you don't know, just go back and watch some videos. But I know that a question that comes up within people who have emotional trauma that really has a lot to do with why can't I just rid myself of anxiety? Why can't I just let it go? Why can't I just move on? Why is depression, having such a hold on me? Why can't I release these things? And I really started to think about that. And, it's kind of like when you are in a relationship with someone for years and years and years, mostly all of your life, you have built such a connection. You have gotten so comfortable within that relationship. And I concluded that the reason that a lot of us cannot break up with anxiety per se is because it is the longest relationship we've had. And subconsciously, we don't understand that it's been a relationship and that we were a part of something for so long. But honestly, some of us have been dealing with it since we were children. When you start to explore outside of your comfort zone, that is when things can start to change for you. And it's not always easy. It's a comfort zone, which means that we don't want to leave it because anything outside of that is uncomfortable, right? So starting to work out for the first time, starting to meditate for the first time, starting to change your mindset from negative to positive, for the very first time. Doing all of these things is something that is out of the norm for you, so you are afraid of it. Jumping out of a plane is a very scary thing, but some people do that as their job or as a hobby. And for someone who has never ever done that, or who has never given thought to doing something like that, that is a petrifying idea. So we have to get out of the mind frame of thinking that people with anxiety or, emotional trauma or mental illness can think themselves out of it. People with depression can think themselves out of being unhappy or sad, right? It can happen, but it's not as easy as people try to paint it out to be, right? A skydiver would just say to you, well, just jump out the plane. And you're like, it's not that easy. I've never done this before. This is petrifying to me. It's literally the same thing. So please think about the things that you say before you say them to people who are suffering from, those types of mental diseases. There has to be a very, very strategic and intelligent plan to get people out of their comfort zone. Driving a car for the first time is scary, right? I remember my first time getting behind a wheel, and the person who was teaching me was just so petrified, and that made me petrified. So it's important that the way that you learn to get out of your comfort zone and to do new things, that you have the right support group, that you know how to do research, that you know how to trust God, that you know how to trust yourself, right? You always have to start small with something. I'm currently trying to remove sugar from my diet. So instead of, going cold turkey, or instead of just totally switching to a vegan or a non-sugar diet, I'm still having sugar, but I'm gradually reducing the amount of sugar that I intake. Because why? Because once I take my body out of its comfort zone, that shock could be very, very horrible for me, right? When you have been in relationship with a bad thing for so long, sometimes it changes your perception of what is good and what is bad. And because of that, you have to relearn everything. You have to ask God to guide you through. There has been plenty of times where I've just asked God, soften my heart so that I understand what it is that you're doing in my life. Help me to trust you more. Help me to have more faith in what you're doing. Remind me of all the great and beautiful things that you've already done for me, so that going forward, I can know, hey, my life is in God's hands. My loved ones' lives are in God's hands. He has his hand on all of us. And because of that very reason, I'm able to go on day to day. It might not be easy. It might be hard sometimes. I may have a good day, I may have a bad day, but all in all, I know that there is a God who protects me, that wants me to succeed, that wants me to prosper, and that wants to teach me something. He wants us out of that comfort zone because he knows that we can't grow there. Listen, when God wants you to move on from a situation, he starts to make you uncomfortable so that you are pressured into moving outside of that comfort zone, into doing new things, into moving to a new state, or trying out a new job, or leaving that person behind, or switching your mindset, developing new relationships, right? God strategically does that. Just like the butterfly inside of its cocoon. When it starts to grow beyond the capacity of the cocoon, it's time to bust those wings out. It's time to shed that cocoon and move on and fly to newer heights, do better things. So do understand that you are not alone if you feel like you just cannot shake it. You just cannot get the anxiety off of you. Every day is a journey, and do not get discouraged because you're not on an upward climb. The journey to healing is not a steady slope. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and it just depends on you, on your trauma, on what you've been conditioned to believe, on what your body has been conditioned through. You know, your body has been under a lot of stress, and so it's going to take some time to reverse it, okay? If you are intentional, if you have faith in it, if you just relax in it, I am learning to just relax in this journey. To just, you know, not rush anything. I don't have control over God's timing. So just resting and relaxing in the fact that God is taking care of you, okay? It might be hard still, you know. It's gonna be hard. Nothing in life is going to always be easy. There's challenges that we have to face, but those challenges change us for the better. So I just want to encourage you to just, you know, keep the faith, keep going. You are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to have bad days, okay? It's written. It's already written that sometimes we will have a bad day, and that's cool. But you must understand that your bad days are not your life story. Don't call your life bad based on one chapter of the book. That chapter might be a hard chapter. It might be a hard few chapters, but the bulk of the book is good, and the plan is for your life to be good. So I just wanted to encourage you, and also encourage myself, because, you know, it is a struggle. It is. I can admit that. And I'm fine with that because I know that God got me. So if you relate, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you turn on your notifications, and also share this video with somebody that you think would value it.